Hey guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. I got a classic for you today. We're going to do Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar. Now, her husband Neil Geraldo is the main guitarist here. He's got some really cool, he's written a lot of really cool solos back in the day for her and for a lot of other artists. So we've got our work cut out for us because it's a pretty challenging solo. The chords leading up to that are pretty simple if you can play basic bar chords. And there's multiple guitar players, at least live here. So Neil Geraldo, usually when you look at his older videos, he just plays it as mostly power chords. Even though in recording you hear it as full minor and major chords. But there's another guitar player that's playing those full minor and major chords with him. So I'll show you both parts, and you can kind of decide which one you want to do. There's kind of different ways you can do this. So let's start with that main riff, which is also the chorus, and it starts the song. We'll start it with just power chords. We'll do that first. We'll start with just the low E open, the 7th fret on the A, 9th fret on the D and the G. We're in standard tuning here, so we have this. Then you're going to go down to the A power chord. The way he does it, just to make the moving around easy, just move it down to the open A, and so you just took these two fingers that were playing the top two notes, and move it down there to the 2nd fret there across the D and the G. Then you're going to jump up here, up to the 4th fret, then down to the 2nd, so this. And then back up to the 7th, back to the A, and then the 4th fret twice, 2nd fret twice, open A, and then you start over. All right, now to have some additional, the full chords there, you can play it like this. All right, so that's just that power chord up top again. And then you play the A minor bar chord here at the 5th fret. I'm sorry, A major bar chord. Now you really don't need the top two notes there. So you don't have to do a full bar there, or any bar at all. It's just the 5th fret on the low E, 7th on the A and the D, and 6th on the G. So a 4-note chord, and then come up to this C sharp minor chord. Here's where you're gonna have to do a bar, 9th fret, across the 9th fret, because you're going to have 9 on the low E, 11 on the A and the D, and then 9 there on the G. Then move it down to the same chord shape we did before, but here the 7th fret. So this. Then go back to the E, back to the A, and then it's the same chords except we have a little different rhythm to it. So it's up from the C sharp minor to the B, to the A, back to the B. So all together. All right, so that's easy to play just with this. If you have those two together, it's going to kind of make this sound bigger. So you have one guy just doing like really straight power chords down in this lower register, and then a guy doing the bar chords with the full chords up here. So kind of arrange it any way you want. It's going to sound good either way. All right, and then we have the verse, which sounds like this. All right, so it's pretty simple. Now the second verse has a little fill in it at the 51-second mark. I'll show that to you in a second. So we're going to start with just the E chord again, E power chord. Then what you're going to do is you're not going to hit the low E string in there anymore. You're just going to go to the 6th fret there on the A string while you're still holding the 9th fret there on the D. Then go down to the C sharp minor chord. I like to play it down here. And this is where that fill happens a little later, so it's kind of a, well, you can really do the fill anywhere, but you can, like I said, anything on guitar, you can sit there if you want to do this here. But it sounds like kind of just going down towards the lower register. So we have that for the C sharp minor chord, which is 4th fret on the A, 6th on the D, G, and 5th on the B. A major and B major. Do it like that. I like to play my bar, this bar with the pinky, but most people don't. So we hit this all together. Then you kind of start palm muting, just doing a kind of an 8th note rhythm. Back up to the top. All right, and then we're back to the chorus. Now, the second, and the chorus is going to be the same way as before. When we get to the second verse, at the, like I said, at the 51-second mark, basically the mid part where he's turning back around to repeat the chorus riff again, you're going to hear a little fill in there. So I'm going to play that. So see if you can catch it in the middle of them. So right there. So it's just when I was coming back to start it over. So that's going to be a hammer on 4 to 6 on the A. Then you can play the double stop at the 4th fret on the D and the G twice. Just a little down up. So we have this, the hammer, then play 6-4 on the A, and then this quick little muted open low E string that takes us back up to the top of the verse. So just for attention to detail, I thought I'd throw that in. It's not very loud in the mix, but it's a cool little lick though. So it kind of mixes things, changes things up a bit. All right, so where else are we at here? Now we have the guitar solo. So I'm gonna play through this guitar solo for you really quick. Like I said, it's pretty challenging, and it's gonna be over the verse and the chorus riffs. So it's familiar riffs, it's gonna be over it. It's gonna be playing under it anyway. So here we go. All right, without that pinch harmonic at the end. All right, so let's start here. The hardest part of the solo is probably going to be the very beginning, and there's multiple ways that you can pick this. All right, so let's just go through the notes first. It's going to be 13 on the G string. Oh, the first phrase here. So the first phrase is 13 on the G, 12 on the B, 11 on the high E. Then to the 14th fret on the high E string. So first 4 notes. Then we have 11, 12 on the high E, 14 on the B, back to the 11 on the high E string. So then you're going to end this first phrase by going 12, 14, 12 on the B string. And then he kind of hits it and slides it down to get ready for the next riff. So now I believe he just kind of straight alternate picks this thing. All right, now you can do it a couple different ways. If you can do a slow sweep to start that, you can do it that way. I like to kind of bounce my hand across. So it's not as sweet. It's kind of like the Al Di Meola way of going across strings. So it really makes it sound like you're almost alternate picking it. You kind of really hear distinct hits there. So whatever feels comfortable. I believe he alternate picks it though. Then we have the second phrase. All right. So that's going to be the 5th fret there on the B string. Hit it 3 times, kind of palm mute it, pull off to the 4th fret. Hit that a few times, and pick it and slide down to the 2nd fret, then the open B and the open high E. So. All right, now we start this legato lick based on the B string. Now to really make this sound okay, what you're gonna wanna do probably is use your middle finger and lightly touch the high E string. So just in case when you're doing this, you don't run into that and cause any noise. So you're gonna start with the open B and then just trailing between the open B and the 2nd fret. Then you pick the open B again, trill against the 4th fret, then 5th. So he seems to pick it every time he's getting ready to move the frets. And at the very last one, he does a quick little slide at the B string. All right, next phrase. All right, so that's going to be hammering from 5 to 7 on the B string while you're playing the high E string with it open. So he does that a few times, and then he has a quick little, he kind of pulls off from the 7th on the high E string to the open E. I kind of like to do that pull off. It's kind of hard to hear in the mix, and then just come up with the 7th fret. And back to the high E, so. All right, then we're up here. That's just a chromatic lick starting on the 12th fret on the B string. So 12, 11, 10, 9. And there's a quick little down up muted hit. Then a half step bend there at the 6th fret on the G string. Pick it again, release, and down to 4. And then you can hear it kind of slide up to go to the next phrase. So we have this. All right, next phrase. All right, so let's just kind of stop there. I don't want to get many notes in there. So that's just going to be just from the 14th fret on the high E to the 12th fret on the B string repeated, and it's slower, then it just starts speeding up. Then you're going to come back and play the 12th fret again on the B and the 11th fret on the G. All right, then sliding in to the 9th fret on the D, and then rolling over and grabbing the 9th fret on the G. You're going to do that twice. And then sliding into the 9th fret there on the A string, and then playing the 9 on the D and the G together. And then you kind of resolve that down to the 7th fret there on the A string. Enjoy this. Then hit the low E open, and then you're going to do a pre-bend at the 4th fret on the G string. And then play it again without the bend with some good vibrato on it. And the solo is going to end with this last phrase. So kind of a couple of bend and release there at the 15th fret on the B string. Same thing at the 2nd fret of the G string. Then we have a heavily palm muted. You're going to start here, this is all the notes on the G string. You're going to hit each note 4 times here starting out. So we have the 4th fret 4 times, then 6, then 8, and then the 9th fret at the very end. You're going to hit it muted twice, and then the last one you can let the muting. So it's really 3 times there. Just let that last note ring. All right. So from here we go to like a cleaner setting as well. Let me just dial off the gain. So this is kind of a breakdown section coming out of the solo, and it's got some intricate picking here. So let me play through it real quick, and then we'll check it out. All right, so this is kind of our arpeggiated version of the verse. So we're going to start at the 9th fret there on the G. It's going to be palm muted here too. At the 7th fret there on the A string. Then we have this. That's 9, 8 on the G, 9 on the D, back to 7 on the A. Then you go back to the 9th fret on the D, to the 6th on the G, back to 9 on the D, and 7, and back to the 9. So a little intricate, so we have this. All right, then we're going to jump down to the 4th position. So it's going to play the 4th on the A string, then the 4th on the D, then 6 on the D, and 6 on the G. All right, then move it down to the 2nd position. So that's just 4 on the G, 4 on the D, 2 on the A. And then play 2 on the A, back to 4 on the D, and back to the 2 on the A. So this. And then back to that little descending one that we started with. And then you're going to go back up to repeat pretty much, playing 4, 6 on the A. So far we have this. Then when we repeat the same thing again, so we don't have to relearn anything until the very end. And the only thing that's different at the end is he starts kind of, he's still kind of picking across it a little bit, but he's really starting to really build up that chord shape. So he's just strumming across all of them. And he does the same little ascending lick between 4 and 6. And that takes us back to the last chorus of the song. Now the last chorus is just going to, remember you can do this. And now at the, it's the same as the previous chorus lick, but at the 2-minute and 30-second mark, they change the chorus up. So this is kind of the outro chorus, and it sounds like this. So it's basically just the second half of the chorus just repeated without doing the first half. All right, so you already know that part. It's just, like I said, both guitar parts follow suit and do the same thing. They're just playing this, repeating the second half of the chorus. Now, coming out of that last one, the very end of the song, it just ends with an E major chord. So that's just an E major at the very end of the song, and then you hear 3 times. You're going to pick the 2nd fret on the low E string and just slightly bend it. then to the open E. And now you're going to play that E chord again, except now you're going to add the 3rd fret there with your pinky, 3rd fret there on the B string. Strum across that, makes it an E dominant 7 chord. And that is about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's got some challenging guitar stuff, I know, some challenging solo and that little intricate arpeggiated verse. But as soon as you get it down, it's a lot of fun to play, and it's a great guitar workout. All right, I'll see you guys again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.